In an interview, the actor who played Billy in the 2017 Power Rangers movie said that the producer's plan was to make several movies and create a new universe. This is something we all basically already know, since it's always been said that that movie was the first attempt to reboot the franchise, and besides, at the end of the movie they left us a clue that they would make a second movie. That's why we need to analyze many aspects of what the future of this new universe might have looked like and everything that could have happened in that second movie. One thing worth mentioning is that this movie was always quite controversial because of all the changes they made, and while that's sometimes normal for a reboot, the changes in this new universe were pretty radical. Among these changes is the new Rita Repulsa, and we could see that she is very different from the Rita we met in 1993. This new Rita of 2017 did not find the power coin of the Green Ranger, but she was the Green Ranger, and this is already a big change. The 1993 Rita was never a ranger, she always presented herself as an evil witch and was never associated with the color green. The 2017 Rita is a combination between the Green Ranger and a witch, so this makes her much scarier. Another one that had big changes was Zordon, since in this movie we were introduced to this character as the Red Ranger who lost his powers due to the Great War he had with Rita Repulsa, the Green Ranger. The Zordon we have known since 1993 has a different story since he was never a ranger, but he was a great warrior who was battling against Rita for thousands of years. If we mention the comic book stories, then we must add that Zordon was a great warrior of Elter and a student of Lord Zedd. If you don't know about this story, I invite you to watch this video in which we explain part of the life of these two powerful warriors, and we also talk about how Lord Zedd ended up being a monster. We know that the 2017 movie is based on Mighty Morphin, and although they have changed many things in the story, even so, it follows a very similar path to the first team of the franchise. This is why at the end of the movie they give us a little hint that in the next movie we were going to be able to see Tommy Oliver, and with this there was also the possibility that we would see the new Green Ranger. We don't know how they were going to modify the story so that Tommy would get the powers of the Green Ranger, and we don't know if Tommy would start as a villain. It should be remembered that the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger in the series started out being evil, but this was due to Rita's spell, and since the Rita from the movie passed away, then she can't cast a spell on him. In this story there are several ways to get Tommy to be an evil Green Ranger, but maybe the focus isn't on him, since I don't think it would be good for the movie to have the main villain be another ranger. When a ranger is evil and becomes a villain, it is almost always a secondary villain controlled by the main villain. This is because these rangers are almost always under an evil spell cast by the main villain, who is almost always a monster from another planet. The only evil ranger that had been a main villain was Lord Draken, and to achieve this they needed to create a big, long story. This is why maybe in a movie this wouldn't work. Plus in that comic book story there were two Tommy Olivers, one good and one evil. We must admit that the Mighty Morphin team needs Tommy, so, if they make a movie with Tommy only as a villain, then we wouldn't be able to see the Mighty Morphin team complete. I think the best thing would be to be able to see the complete Mighty Morphin team with their Green Ranger, and they can all fight another villain. This could work better. They could even turn this Green Ranger into a White Ranger in the middle of the movie so he could be a stronger ranger, and with that change be able to defeat the main villain. This could be a great story for a 2017 Power Rangers sequel, as we would have a new villain, a new Green Ranger, and an evolved Ranger with the color white. When this movie ended, everyone focused on the possible appearance of Tommy Oliver in the next movie, but perhaps very few have thought about the villain that such a sequel should have. We all know that the villain of the second season of Mighty Morphin was Lord Zedd, a being so powerful that even Rita was afraid of him, and he marked the life of all the viewers. When this villain started, he was so evil that many parents began to complain to the production because many children were scared, and this caused the production to soften the character. To accomplish this, they changed Lord Zedd's personality a bit to make him a bit dumber and also married him to Rita. If this character was too dark in a TV show for a children's audience, imagine what they could achieve in a movie for young people over 13 years of age. Lord Zedd could be the main villain of a sequel to Power Rangers the movie, as this continues the path of Mighty Morphin and at the same time gives them the opportunity to change a lot of things. We could see that Rita's physique was changed a lot. Now she has a slightly deformed face, but that makes her look eviler, and also now we can see her whole figure. Another big change she had is that she can control gold, and that is why her staff is completely made of gold. This is very different from the Rita of 1993, since she has nothing to do with gold and her staff is very different. One big change that I really liked is that the costume that the movie Rita wears looks excellent and makes her look like a warrior. Obviously, the 1993 Rita should not look like a warrior since she is simply a witch, and that is why her clothes are very appropriate for what she does. If Rita had these great changes, then we can expect the same with Lord Zedd, since in the TV series we have always seen him with a skinless body and silver armor. This monster wears a helmet that does not allow us to see his face, and this helmet has a red crystal that makes him look quite evil. Another great element of Lord Zedd is his staff, which has a big Z on the top, and I think it is one of the most iconic elements of this character. I even dare to say that they shouldn't change this staff in a new movie, even if they change everything else about the character, since it is so iconic that it could be the only thing that connects us with him when they change his whole physique. Another great detail that could connect us with him is his distinctive red color, and even though we know that this color comes from all his muscles being exposed without a skin covering them, they could create a red character even though he has skin. With these two elements they could create a connection with the audience, because even if they want to change the characters, it is always good to have some details that connect with the original characters. Obviously, the name is not enough, and, in the villains, it is more important to have other details that connect with the old characters, since the Rangers connect with the original characters when they are transformed. Ranger characters should only have the name of the original character and transform to be enough to have a connection to the original character. Because villains do not transform, then they must have other elements that can connect to the original character. In Rita's case, the only thing that connected her to the original 1993 Rita was the name and the magic. Physically there was no connection, and in the history of the character neither. Although perhaps many may think that making a connection to the original characters is not necessary, the reality is that this is what helps the movie connect with the audience. Let's give you an example with another movie so you can see how important the connection with the original character is. Imagine they are going to do a reboot of the Batman movies, and we already know all the things about the original character. Then when you are introduced to the new movie, this Batman has the same name as the original, but he wears a yellow suit. His story is different. He doesn't use any of his weapons. He no longer fights hand to hand. He only keeps watch in the daytime. He doesn't have a spectacular car, and the animal that identifies him is now a dog. The character in the new movie may be awesome, but if he has no connection to the original Batman, then he is not Batman, even if he has the same name.